Hi and welcome back to the cottage. Let's talk about 10 things that you can declutter that will actually help to simplify your life. While it's true that decluttering in general is an important step in simplifying your life, there are certain categories and areas that are more impactful than others. And so if you really want to pack a punch and get the most out of your decluttering efforts, I recommend that you focus on one of the following 10 categories. Doing so will help to simplify things and gain you greater satisfaction day to day. Category 1 is the junk drawer, and I'm going to preface this by saying it can be a drawer or any bin that you find yourself throwing random miscellaneous items. If someone is brand new to decluttering and they ask me where they should begin, I'm almost always going to point them directly to the junk drawer for a couple of different reasons. The first is that it's usually a small space, so it's manageable, and the second is that it's one of the most frustrating areas to deal with as a homeowner. With so many random items piled into a common space, it's very easy to forget what we even have in there, and even more difficult to retrieve the items that we need when we need them, such as a 9-volt battery for our smoke detector that's beeping in the middle of the night. So here's what I suggest for this area and this category. Pull everything out of that space completely, get it all cleaned out, and then think to yourself what you really want this space to function as. Then you're going to want to micro-organize, and this is when dividers become very important. Now, you can make these dividers with recycled materials such as cardboard, or you can buy some fancy ones at the store, but however you decide to divide up that space, make sure that the area that you keep for a particular item is not much bigger than the item itself. This is an ultra simple but brilliant way to ensure that every item in that drawer, in that space, has a proper home, a proper place to belong. And this is going to simplify your life tenfold when you need to access the things that you are looking for, and also when you're going to be putting them away. Category 2 is clothing that does not fit. Imagine this scenario. You have a food intolerance. Say you have a gluten sensitivity, but when you walk to your kitchen and look in your cabinets, look in your fridge, all that you have available are pastas and breads and things that you know if you eat them, they will make you sick. Now, most of us would recognize that this is not a situation we would present ourselves with. We would not set ourselves up to get sick by only having those food options available. But sadly, this is exactly what we face every time we open up a closet filled with clothing that does not fit, is not an option for us to wear. The difference is that instead of making our gut feel sick like we would be having happen in the kitchen, we are really making our mind feel sick. We are clouding up our brains and our psyches with tons of negative feedback and emotions, being faced with all of this clothing that really is just making us feel bad. And so for this category of decluttering, I want you to be very intentional and mindful of making sure you eliminate everything that no longer fits or doesn't feel good when you're wearing it, just to make room for some new pieces that can really boost your spirits instead of put them down. The third category that I think is important to declutter to simplify your life are items that you had plans for that never fully came to fruition. So these are things like crafting projects, quilts, needlepoint work, maybe some scrapbooking that you really had a good imagination for, you had a good vision for, and you started going on it, and then just lost some steam. Or it might be some sporting equipment. Maybe you felt like you were going to begin this new sport, you were really excited about it, but you found out that the more that you tried it, that it wasn't really your jam. Now, the thing about this category of items is they make you feel this guilt, right? It makes you feel like, well, I was a failure. I tried something and it didn't really work out, and I don't want to be a quitter, so I'm just gonna hang it around, I'll get to it at some point. But we only have so many hours in the day, and chances are if you haven't completed them yet, you've probably moved on to something else. And so I want to free you from this feeling that you have given up, that you're a failure, and I want you to recognize that the reason that these items, these particular things came into your life was because of enjoyment. You enjoyed the process of quilting, you enjoyed this sport at the beginning, and apparently because you haven't touched those things in a while, it means that you've gotten the enjoyment enjoyment out of the experience that you were needing, and you can move on. So free yourself from that. You'll have more hobbies, you'll have more projects that you want to be involved in, and you need to have space in your life for those as well. Category 4 is any home decor item that annoys you with its fussiness. Things that I would add in this category would be something like heavy drapery that you are super annoyed to have to open and close every single day. They get dirty and you need to wash them often. Or maybe you have some decorative pillows on your couch that your pets like to cuddle up next to, and so they're filled with pet hair. Or small scattered rugs that you added for color or style, and they're always slipping around the floor, they're a tripping hazard, they're getting in the way. These types of things are the things that I'm talking about. When it comes to home decor, usually these items are added by us because we want our homes to feel more comfortable and cozy and stylish. But if they are annoying us, it's really defeating the purpose. And so I would really just, again, encourage you to declutter these types of things. You probably know exactly what they are because you are frustrated every time that you have to handle them or deal with them. And try maybe for a while living without them altogether and see if you like that. And if not, try to find something to replace it that's a little bit less fussy and annoying. Another recommended category to declutter are things that bring up bad emotions or memories. So letters from a past relationship, someone who broke your heart, or photos of a specific time period that was really hurtful to you. Maybe just items that give you an icky feeling inside. You may even be storing some items from your past that paint you in a really bad light. So in my opinion, it's important to eliminate all of these things from your life as soon as you feel willing and able to do so. Now you might be wondering, what really is the harm here? Chances are these items are kept in a box or bin that's in the back of the closet or in the attic, and who really thinks about them? Who really ever sees them? Well, chances are if you know that they're there, you are thinking about them from time to time, and remember, these are negative memories and emotions, and we don't want that coming up again and again for our lives and for our psyche. The added benefit of decluttering this category of items now is that you are likely to come upon some positive memory items that you can pull from hiding and display to help to replace some of those negative emotions. The sixth category that I recommend decluttering that can greatly simplify your life is anything that your kids are no longer using. Let's face it, kids have a lot of stuff, and when they have too much stuff, they can't properly manage it all, and so that means that we as parents need to step in, lend a hand, and that adds a burden to our plates. It overcomplicates things, and we do not want that. And so while you're decluttering this category, it's important to take a step back and really just see how your kids are interacting with their things on a regular basis. See which items that they gravitate towards and which ones that they really don't care much about. If your child dresses themselves, it's likely that they have a couple favorite outfits that they want to wear again and again. These are going to be the ones that have holes in the knees or, stains on the shirt. They just wear them so often. And same with play toys, they will gravitate towards the same ones over and over again, and the rest are just going to be left on the shelf or scattered around, because when kids have a lot of things, what happens is they need to go through everything to get to the thing that they really want, and so everything else kind of just lays up in a jumbled mess, either on the floor or in their dresser, in their closet, and again, extra stress. And so talk to your child, maybe if you have a child who's old enough to really work through these things, and ask them, what are your favorites? What are your favorite toys? What are your favorite clothes? And what are things that you really don't like? I was kind of surprised a little while ago. I did this with my daughter, and there's an outfit that I thought was so cute, and I wanted her to wear it more often, but she said, Mom, it's kind of itchy. I just don't really like it that much. And that one went straight into the donation bin. Didn't even think twice about it, because there's no point having it as an option for her in her dresser drawer if she's never going to wear it. And same with toys. You know when a child has kind of gone through a phase with a specific toy and they no longer play with it anymore, that's a good time to ask them, hey, do you really want this toy anymore, or can we pass it on to someone else who could use it right now and enjoy it so much right now. So hopefully your kids are up for that challenge. I promise you that getting rid of some of these excess toys, clothes, and any other kid gear that you might have laying around is really going to help to simplify your life as well. Category 7, beauty or self-care products that didn't work for you. Many of us have cabinets, drawers filled with different products that we bought for a specific purpose. We thought that maybe it could solve a problem for us, wrinkled skin, dry scalp, or maybe gray hair, and we thought that this would be the ticket to remedy that what we thought was a problem, but it didn't really pan out. It wasn't something that we enjoyed using. It didn't work well for us. Now, clearly, I'm no fashion or beauty expert, and I've never claimed to be. I find products that work for me, and I just keep buying them over and over again. However, I do want to recognize that some people really enjoy that experience of trying out these new products and seeing if it's something that they want to use. And so I don't want to limit your ability to do that, to be creative with your makeup or your hair care, hairstyles. And so I don't think buying these products is really the problem. The problem is when you keep everything, even if it didn't work out, thinking that maybe you'll get to it in the future. But if you are the type of person that likes to experiment with things, chances are you're not going to go back to the things that you tried and you didn't really like. And so again, be really mindful of this. Take a look at your inventory of beauty products, self-care items, and really ask yourself if you're using these things. And if the answer is no, go ahead and declutter them. Category 8 is food that doesn't align with your health goals. Now, I don't know about you, but when it comes to junk food, if it's something that is in my home, I'm much more likely to want to eat it. And so decluttering this type of food, which technically couldn't even be considered food because it's so processed, we can make better decisions if we eliminate it altogether and don't even have it in our homes at all. It also puts the barrier up in that if you want to have something like this, you need to leave your home and go get it or pay an extra fee to have it delivered to you. So it really makes the better choice the easier and more simple choice to make. Now, when it comes to decluttering food, it's not as simple as putting these items in a donation box and sending them off to the thrift store. We need to be a little bit more mindful. If they are unopened items, we may be able to donate them to a food pantry, but even they have restrictions on the things that they will accept, and junk food isn't usually at the top of that list, and so that might not be an option either. And so the easiest thing to do with this type of food item is to just throw it in the trash and send it away, and it's just done all in one fell swoop. However, that might feel uncomfortable for you. You'll feel like you're wasting some things. And so another fun option that you could consider is to invite some friends over for a game night, a movie night, and just lay the whole spread out and have them snack on everything, and that will take care of the problem for you. Those items will be decluttered and you'll be on your way to making better food decisions. Number 9, all of the excess that is preventing you from parking your car in your garage. Garages have become, at least in America, like personal storage units and random dumping grounds for all types of clutter. It's not uncommon to see a home with a 3-car attached garage with 3 cars sitting outside on the driveway. This doesn't mean that the homeowner has 6 vehicles. It's more likely an indicator that the garage is 100% filled with clutter. If you want to simplify your life, I'm a firm believer that one of the biggest ways that you can impact that is working hard to get your vehicle back into your garage. This is going to give you peace of mind because especially if you live in an area that gets some extreme weather like hail or blizzards, you are going to be less likely to have to file some sort of insurance claim if your vehicle gets damaged from sitting outside. And on a day-to-day basis, it's really going to simplify things that you're not going to be exposing yourself to those elements on a regular basis, going out through a rainstorm, for example, to get into your car, or having to scrape your windshield because it's been sitting out in the freezing temperatures. These are hassles that you wouldn't have to deal with if your car was protected. I do realize that garages can be a very intimidating space to tackle, and so I do encourage you to take them one step at a time. If you have a 2-car garage, Maybe work on just getting one vehicle in for now and then focus on the other as time goes on. But be sure that you're not just shifting things around to make space for these cars and that you're actually going through the items and decluttering them. Now, we need to be honest with ourselves when we're decluttering our garage and think about the items that are stored in there. If they are in the garage, it likely means that you didn't want to reserve space for them inside of the house, so they're probably not prized possessions, and your vehicle is a huge asset. It's something that you put a lot of money into, and it deserves protection, probably a lot more than that random box of items that you don't even know what's inside of it. And so be a little bit brutal, be a little bit ruthless, and work hard to get your vehicles back into your garage. And finally, category 10, declutter any item that you don't want to keep. The word declutter and the process of decluttering gets us into the mindset of looking for things that we want to get rid of, and it kind of takes the focus off of what we're actually trying to accomplish, and that is to highlight the things that we actually enjoy, we actually like surrounding ourselves with. And by default, the opposite of that, the opposite of the things that we want to keep, is clutter. And so if you frame your mind in a way of looking for those things that you actually want to keep and then recognizing the things that aren't in that category, it's going to make the process a lot easier and a lot more valuable to you. This is sort of a miscellaneous category and it can cover all sorts of things. One really common one that comes to mind is anything that was given to you that you didn't really like, but yet you're holding on to because of guilt. So for example, maybe you got something as a gift from a close friend, didn't really like it, but yet you felt guilty about it and have hung on to it all this time. In case that person comes over, you can show that you still have the item, or you were passed down something from a relative that isn't really something that is your style. You wouldn't have picked it on your own, but now you feel like you are the keeper of this thing. These items are clutter, and if you can recognize them as that, something that you don't want in your home anymore, you can more easily declutter them. And this can also include items that you purchased yourself, you brought into your home yourself, you liked them once upon a time, but they no longer fit your style. Maybe some artwork, piece of furniture. Feel okay to let these things go. So again, this is more of a mindset category where you look for the things that you really like and enjoy and that you want to keep and get rid of the excess that's going to cloud up the ability to see those items for what they are, those more prized possessions. Get rid of the excess so that you can really take note of the things that you enjoy and love. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope that you're able to declutter from one or more of these categories and that you see the fruits of your efforts being displayed in the simplification of your life on a day-to-day basis, and also that you gain those skills of decluttering and it makes you more motivated and more encouraged to keep going on this journey and that you have so much success. As always, if you have any questions about anything I said today or anything else about decluttering, minimalism, I would love to chat with you down in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope that you'll stop by the cottage again really soon.